Lone Wolf Customs coming back at you once again. Sorry I haven't been making videos for a bit. I have basically just been piddling. Doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Not really doing anything too crazy. Mostly, I'd say most of you probably don't know, but my mother passed away back in July, or near July, and I've kind of just been not really that interested in making videos. I built the Harley, which you've seen in the previous video, and I've been working on my lathe, been working on a few little odds and ends. I'm building a truck, a few things. I'll show you all that stuff here in a little bit. But yeah, I just really haven't been doing really anything. I wanted to show you my lathe. Give you an idea of what we got here. If you've watched my videos for a long enough time, you probably have seen the lathe, but there's a little bit of differences now. The lathe originally had an electric motor on it. Technically, this lathe would have had overhead belts probably, and not had a motor on it at all. It's older than dirt, and it's not really that great. It's pretty wore out, but you know, she's sturdy. She turns. I got tired of screwing around with electric motors, so I put a 420 Predator gas motor on the lathe. Exhaust is ran down that way, goes out the wall. Here's my clutch, put it in gear kind of deal. Release, to release the tension. Belt going from here to here so I can change gears. Key, throttle. It's got electric start. I ain't got that hooked up quite yet. And the carb's jacked up. It's a used motor. Technically, it's the motor that's supposed to went to the sawmill, but where it's set for so long since I got it, the carb's gotten junked up, and I'm gonna have to pull it apart. So it'll idle. If the choke's on, it won't rev up. If you take the choke off, it idle, it'll die. And if you give it fuel and get her up there in RPMs and then turn the choke off, it'll work fine then. So, you know, is what it is. But show you it working, if it'll crank.
It's not running very good. Now it's off choke, but it's got the RPM.
the lever back too far and the belt jumped off. I'll put it back on so you can see where it's supposed to be. You know, the bad thing is all the time I've been messing with this thing since I started it and got it working and all this other shit. It's literally the first time the belt's actually jumped off. Of course, when I'm recording. Get this camera out of this holder and I'll give you a look over it. If I can do it without fucking it up. Alright. Anyways. There's a lathe. It's full of junk. There's the exhaust running out. You know, pretty simple. Key switch, throttle, belt drive. That one's messed up, so I can't run it, unfortunately. Runs back, runs to the belt. 420 Predator. You know, electric start, all that. So, belt's loose. Pulls back, tightens belt. Let's look through, hook through a, this is a Hurst shifter too. Hook through a pulley. It originally was for the side stuff. It's all missing. Built that. Made that little arm back in there. It's hooked to a spring. You push that forward. Releases the pressure. Belt goes loose again. You know, real simple. Got an idler to put more cover on that. Throttle. I ain't got the choke hooked up. I may end up changing the carb altogether. I don't know. That's one thing I've been working on. Been working on a bike for a buddy. There's the Harley. Got this thing working, which, you know, I've had it forever. My stepdad built it forever ago. I redesigned some of it, but down there works pretty good. There's the press. Can't remember if I showed building the press or not. I don't think so. Metal brake I built. I can't remember if I showed that or not. The Harley. Haven't really done much to it since I got it running. I've been needing to get the lathe working so I can build a new spacer for the front. Now I finally got the lathe working pretty much today. So I guess I might do that now. This is just the old standard, nothing special, you know, had electric motor in it. The motor went bad. So I modified it, made it a belt drive. Another electric motor. There's a pulley. All that shit. But and show it does. You know, it works. Drill press. Use some license plates to make a little side thing, little table thing, but you know, it's like up, down, all that shit. There's that. Most of the garage still looks like a complete disaster. But let me show you what else I've been doing. Well, lays forth the Hemi truck. Hemi's still in it. Cab's no longer on it. Cab's there. Put big truck mirrors on it. Those are actually for a Ford F700. Had to modify the brackets slightly. The upper one's pretty well bone stock. I didn't do a thing to it. The bottom ones I bent them and hammered a new flat and drilled it and all that. So both sides. But transmission's gone out of it. The bed, you should already know it's gone. It's on the 4-wheel drive and all that. Reason, here goes Chloe. Trailer still there. Sawmill ain't been touched. I think it's like 40 degrees out here right now. There's a bunch of front end stuff. Gas tank. This is what I've been working on. If you remember in an earlier video, there was the 3/4 ton Dodge truck. Well, I'm fixing the 3/4 ton. It's a 73 3/4 ton Dodge truck, as you see with the bolt pattern. Cab is over there. It's got a lot of rust. Floor's got rust in it. Drip edge is completely rotted off of it. You know, in the front, you know, it's got its problems. It's automatic. Well, that one's 5-speed. Got the hydraulic pedals and everything I made to fit in it and all that shit, blah, blah, blah. That cab's going on this frame. So then this truck will no longer be a 72, it'll be a 73. Which that truck cab was originally a 3/4 ton in the first place. So it's basically going back to a 3/4 ton. Mostly because that cab has no rust, or no significant major rust, and it's already got all the pedals and shit in it and everything. It'd be more pain in the ass to move than it'd be worth to put it in a different cab. So, Hemi 5-speed. It's going in this, which is actually like a 96, I think, Dakota 5-speed. Came behind the V6. It's got a 4.7 stage 3 racing clutch and pressure plate. It's got a Magnum 360 for an MV 3500 or whatever fucking flywheel. Bolts together, no problem. Except for I took in before years ago, I cut all the relector wheel off of it, so it made it lighter. Those are Dakota, Durango, shorty headers. 60s fin valve covers that I found at a swap meet years and years ago. It will have points. That's not the distributor, it'll probably be in it, but it will have points. Had to buy this intake, brand freaking new. It's one of the eBay specials to put on a Magnum. This is a Magnum motor. Technically, this is a 2003 RT Dakota 360. So, for the carburetor, headers, points, and all that. I changed the oil pan to the 73's 360's oil pan that was in this truck. Front timing set's all off of that. I've still got tons more to do. Water pump, dipstick is already in. I got, if you go to D&J's channel, I'll try to link it below. I don't know how to do that, so I'll see if I can link that below. He welded the eccentric on the cam gear for the fuel pump, because it's got the Magnum cam. The snout on it's a little short, so you can't put a mechanical fuel pump piece to it. So you just braze the gear, the gear and the wheel together, and there you go. Typically, when you have to change a timing set, the gear's usually never bad. The chain is what's bad. So, and if it is bad, I can just cut it off and weld it on another one. But there's that. I've still got to go pick up, I got to pick up the 2-piece drive shaft, which I'll have to cut down to make it fit, because this is basically the equivalent to a 904. length. And this would have had a 727 in it, which would have been about here further. So the drive shafts that would have been in this truck is too short. So I have to work around that. I ain't got the starter on it yet, but it'll have a Magnum style starter. Exhaust, I'm not doing anything fancy. Most likely collector from 2 and then a single exhaust down the side instead of duals, mostly because I am considering putting a second fuel tank in. The cab had a tank in the cab, and I'm gonna keep the tank in the cab. I like a tank in the cab, but I might put a second tank in underneath here, which means I'll have to cut a hole in the side of the truck here and put a filler thing and all that shit. May end up putting a diesel heater in this, may not, don't know. But there's the ladder rack that was on it. Here's the front end parts that's going back on to that truck. So front clip, all that stuff. 90% of this I've done myself, including getting the cabs off by hand. So, you know, I've had some help here and there, but you know, most of the heavy stuff's been me. But yeah, the motor that was in this truck, the whole reason that I've had to do all this funness, which it's been raining, you may not even be able to see it. Yeah, you can see it. The piston disappeared. You know, it's not supposed to look like that. It's supposed to look more like that, you know, with the wrist pins going in a piston. The piston disintegrated, and I'm pretty sure it cracked the jug because when it did it, you heard the gurgle of the antifreeze pouring into the oil, and all the oil, the water, antifreeze was in the oil. There's some of the pieces of what used to be a piston. So, other than some pieces like the crank and stuff that I could pull off that and salvage it, maybe the heads if I'm lucky, that motor's junk. So, that's basically that. Let me show you what else I've been doing. I've also been redoing my wood stove. Not like crazy redoing it. I redone the chimney. So it's got a 6-inch pipe all the way through, and then I lined it with fire concrete. Redone the pipe coming in. Got a header piece for it. Built a little shelf for it, which this will actually end up becoming a water tank. I've got to finish doing that. Built a hearth out of pavers, which, you know, ain't nothing terribly special about it, but you know, there's that. Built some expanded metal shelves to you know, hang stuff for drying, just knickknacks, whatever. There's a baby chicken. Also built, which I wasn't planning on recording this, so it's kind of hard to see, I guess. Let me move some of this. Template. CAD. Cardboard aided design. Anyways, been working on this. This was a cabinet, was in the garage. It was too long. I cut it down, slid the wall in, reattached it, reinforced the bottom some. Built a countertop. This is hardwood floor from a church that was tore down in the 50s, I think. So it was an old church then. This is actual oak hardwood flooring. It all had square nails and everything. And I done it, filled in the gaps, used a piece of plyboard on the backing. Done that. I've still got to build the trim edge that goes around. I polyurethane it several coats. She's fairly smooth. This is a cast iron sink. Not an old cast iron sink, it's a newer cast iron sink, but got it used, good deal. Pitcher pump from China, had to redo it. Took the bolts out, reamed it, cleaned it up, made pins, redone the guts, took a home home the inside out so it's smooth as glass. Freaking drilled this. Cast ain't hard to drill. Porcelain is hard to drill. Drilled it, especially that big asshole. This ain't fully attached. It's loose. It's not fully hooked up yet. But ultimately, this is going to go out to a rain catchment. And the drain will end up being set to go to a bucket. So if the power's out, the electricity's out, shit hits the fan, whatever, I can pump some water. And what water goes down here goes into a bucket that gives me the ability to flush my toilet. Yeah, not the best system, but it works. Now this is my living room. So I've got an antique style kitchen in my living room, which I like. It's kind of a focal thing. It looks cool. Plus, you know. Now, of course, down here, I've just got the firewood and stuff. Over here, you know, there's a drawer. And that's a hand plane, and that's what I used to smooth all this out, was a hand plane. So, you know, may get repainted, may not, I ain't sure. But, you know, been picking away at that kind of stuff. So that's basically where I'm at. Sorry I ain't been making any videos. One, I haven't really been doing any of the stuff that I was doing before. And since Mom passed away and everything, I've just kind of, you know, been dealing with that and everything. So, you know, if y'all have lost anybody, y'all probably understand what I'm talking about. A lot of, you know, just kind of putting my head down and burying myself in something and not really having to think about it too much. But, yeah. Doing something to keep my mind busy. You know, thanks for watching. Sorry once again. I guess, you know, I'll try to do some videos a little bit more. I guess comment down below if, you know, you've seen something that you would like to see more of. And I'll try to do more video of it. Thanks for watching. Bye.